Hey, this is James Malinchak, featured on ABC's hit TV show, Secret Millionaire, and welcome to the Success Show. I am so jazzed up and excited. We got my friend here, Barry Spencer, who is an outstanding speaker, author, entrepreneur, and just all-around great guy. Barry, my man, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for being here. Look at you looking all dapper and everything.
I try my hardest. It's hard to keep up with you.
So, tell a little bit about yourself. You know, everybody knows of our successes, right? But, you know, you weren't always a successful entrepreneur or author or speaker. So how'd you get started? And, you know, was it tough getting going? And tell us a little bit about your roots.
My roots? I grew up in a suburbia town, but it might as well have been a farm town. My father was raised on a farm, but he brought the farm to the suburbs in Michigan, small town in Michigan. And we really learned how to work hard, and we learned how to not sleep and do more than we were ever capable of doing.
And so did you go through any rough patches, any obstacles, any roadblocks?
Any roadblocks?
Because, I mean, I know no entrepreneur or speaker or author watching has ever gone through any of that.
Right, none of that. Well, one of the things is I really had a passion. I think you have one of these passions, but basketball. My passion as a kid was basketball. And the only thing I ever wanted to do was play basketball. And what was interesting is I always asked my father, who never got a chance to play sports because he grew up on the farm, only had to work, I said, Dad, I just want to go play basketball. He says, you can after you work. Basketball was not work.
So you had that work ethic instilled in you from the very beginning at a young age.
We dreamed of our mom waking us up in the morning because we did not want the wrath of God before 7 a.m. any day of the week, including Saturday and Sunday.
So when did you start thinking about being an entrepreneur, a small business owner, you know, trying to do something business-wise? When did that first develop?
I really went on excursions with my father when I was 12 years old. And I'd go on meetings with him, and he was a successful entrepreneur, rags to riches story from the farm, $240 in his pocket, multi-millionaire success story. I said, I want to be like him.
So you had a blueprint, you had a role model, you had a mentor, something that you try to do now for certain entrepreneurs. You actually had that laid out in front of you from a very young age.
I really had a great legacy of a father who said, you can do anything you want if you put your mind to it. In fact, I was really struggling in school when I was in 7th grade. And I said, Dad, what do I do about this? He says to me, son, let me tell you the secret. He said, all those A and B students end up working for us C students. Don't worry about it. Do your best and keep going.
That's a great point. So let's talk about being an entrepreneur. Let's shift here.
Yeah.
You had all this great foundational work laid from a blueprint you learned from a magnificent mentor, coach, if you will, your father.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about some characteristics and qualities you think that it takes today in this new economy, this new world, if you will, to be a successful entrepreneur.
Yeah. I think it's go for it. Don't be afraid to fail. And done beats perfect every time.
I love that. So expand on that. What does done beats perfect mean? For somebody watching, you know, who... You know, and I see this happen so many times, you know, I just got to get it perfect and right, and then I'll put it out there for the business. Or when I get, you know, perfect as a person, then I can invest in the business or start the business. So explain what that means.
Well, for me, it was waiting for just the right time or just the opportunity. And for the longest time, I really had a coach and a mentor that was telling me, when you have it just right, when you've said just the right thing, when you have everything in place and just perfect, then you go do it. And what really ended up happening was every entrepreneurial and pioneering item that I wanted to try was delayed and very little success. And then once I started to say, I'm just going to go for it and forget about it, whether anyone shows up, whether it works or not, whether the business ever works, we're going to do it anyway. And what ended up happening, just things start falling into place as you do it.
You know, one of my favorite quotes is by a former legendary copywriter, Gary Halbert. He said, you always accomplish more through movement than through meditation. And do you find that with a lot of entrepreneurs? Is they're thinking and they're planning so much that they actually never get into movement and into motion, and that's why they don't succeed?
Yeah. In fact, there's one gentleman that I'm aware of. He's a Harvard graduate, and he thinks so much about what he's going to do before he does it that he almost does nothing. And then he says to me, "What do you think, Barry, the next step should be here?" And I think, well, I'm not a Harvard grad. Why are you asking me? I'm just a C student, right? And we'll go for it and just try it and then see what happens next.
Well, that's a great testament to you. So you got this Harvard grad talking to you for advice because he probably sees that as an entrepreneur, as a speaker, as an author, you're just out there getting it done. I mean, you got the chutzpah, you got the hustle, and you're living by a motto I learned a long time ago. Oh, what the heck, go for it anyway, right? And and good enough is good enough.
Yeah.
And so, what is a key that you think? So there's an entrepreneur watching, and he or she has this dream, has this vision, has this idea for something that they could add value and serve people and uplift them and create a great business, which creates a great life for their family. But they're sitting there going, but I don't know if I can do it.
Yeah.
What do you say to that person?
I think in every entrepreneur, there's an event or a circumstance or an experience that's happened in their life. If they take stock of that experience or that event, and something has happened and they said, there's got to be a better way. So if they look at that and say, well, there's got to be a better way, that's the thing they should pursue because they have a story and an experience that goes behind it. And if they don't pursue it and they don't do it, they'll regret it.
It's almost like, when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, you'll move forward and get it done.
Yeah.
Now, I want to shift a little bit.
Okay.
Because I know something that you're really big on that I know that you not only do for yourself, but you talk to entrepreneurs, speakers, and authors about, and that's coaching. And that's mentoring. And that's, don't try and reinvent a wheel. Learn from somebody who's not only been there, done that, but somebody like yourself who's been there, done that, and who's still doing it as an entrepreneur. So can you tell me a little bit about how important you think coaching and mentoring is if you're that entrepreneur wanting to maybe start a business or maybe wanting to grow and break out of that comfort zone that you're currently in?
Everything. Absolutely everything. Because what the entrepreneur gets from a coach is exponential growth. Exponential, cutting the learning curve, not by 10 or 15 or 20, but by 90%. And every time I've had not only the coach, but the right coach and the right mentor, the acceleration has gone through the roof.
What do you say to that entrepreneur sitting there going, yeah, but man, I've been doing this for 25 years. I don't need a coach. I don't need a mentor. What do you say to that person who's sitting there with that whole, I've been doing this for so long, I know it all mentality?
I think the best leaders are the best learners. The best leaders are the best learners. So the more you learn, the more you grow. So if they can focus on learning, they're going to grow. So I haven't found an entrepreneur yet who isn't focused on growing, succeeding, achieving, and going beyond whatever it is that they're already doing. So my guess is that person has hit a plateau and they don't like coaching because they can't figure out what's next. And maybe there's a insecurity, there's something that's keeping them from going there, but deep down inside, they want to go there. And the coach will break them through the invisible ceiling that's keeping them going to the next level.
Well, something that I know that you do for folks when you work with them is the whole forest and the tree scenario. So many times as entrepreneurs, we're so far into the forest, we can't see the trees. Meaning that, we're so ingrained and engulfed in the day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month details of our business and of running the business that we can't see what we can't see and what we're missing. And that's where you come in, right? So you have the ability to look at someone's situation and say, hey, man, I've been there. I've been down this road. I see things you can't see. So do this, don't do this, make a little adjustment here. So talk about that and the importance of having a coach who's able to see those tiny little things that they can't see.
There's an ancient Hebrew proverb that says, deep within a man's heart are the well springs of life, and great is a man who can draw it out of him. And I found a great coach draws that out of the man's heart. And when you find those well springs of life, they produce just that, life in exceeding abundance.
And sometimes we know those things, but we don't see them. And that's where you come in and able to draw that out, able to, adjust the sails, if you will. You almost have the ability to see into the future and say, hey, you need to adjust the course because there's a storm coming. And that's something that I know that you're big on, trying to help folks who can't even see into the future, into the vision, to see that. So talk about the importance of looking to the future as an entrepreneur, as a speaker, as an author, whatever industry, whatever niche, and not only having the vision, but having the plan, if you will, and the blueprint to go and achieve that vision.
Well, typically as an entrepreneur, you become very good at one item that you hone in on, that you find that you just become an expert at. And that's what makes you successful, and that's what makes you grow your business, develop wealth, create all this massive amount of wealth and success. But in the midst of that, there's all these other areas of life you don't have time, resources, or energy to focus on. And so who can come alongside you to help you figure out and focus on those other aspects of your life that are also critical to not only your success, but making your success and your wealth endure now and beyond. And that's really where someone from the outside can kind of come in and show you exactly what that is. And we really all need that in every area of our life where it's not a particular expertise for us, our core business, if you will.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to say, ask a couple of questions, and I want 10-second answers. All right? Greatest leadership lesson you ever learned? I'll give you 20 seconds.
Now wait, don't be gracious. Don't be gracious.
Well,
come on now.
You didn't know we didn't plan this ahead of time.
Yeah, we did not plan.
So this is off the cuff. So you're listening. This man's thinking off the cuff.
I'm thinking off the cuff.
All right, 20 seconds. Greatest leadership lesson you've ever learned for yourself that's helped you.
Yeah. Always be learning. It's actually a lesson I shared with my 5- and 2-year-old not too long ago, and I said, ABL. Dad, what in the world's ABL? Always be learning. Okay. I said, that's why I'm always reading. That's why you should always read.
Okay. A time when you messed up and you had to pull yourself up by the bootstraps to continue on as an entrepreneur.
How real do you get on that question?
You're down to 16 seconds.
I'm already down to 16 seconds. Well, I really blew it with a group that I was working with in Detroit, and I really didn't fire on all cylinders, wasn't really prepared, and the meeting really botched, and we just really had to leave.
Now, the reason I asked that question is, you see someone accomplished or successful like Barry, and you say, well, he doesn't understand what I go through. This guy's never messed up. He's being interviewed. The guy is a speaker. The guy is a successful entrepreneur. He's a successful author, and he doesn't know what I'm going through. And the one thing that I know that every successful person like yourself or any entrepreneur has in common is we've all messed up. And it's not about the times you get knocked down in life. It's about how many times you choose to get up and how you readjust. So the reason I asked him that question was to show you that here he is being interviewed and a successful entrepreneur, but he messes up just like I do, just like you do. So you may be thinking that, Barry doesn't understand my situation. He understands it, and he can see things that you can't see. All right. Are you ready?
I think so.
All right.
Let's bring it.
This is an easy one.
All right.
Softball. You're gonna knock it out of the park.
Home run.
All right. Parting words of wisdom for someone watching who, again, has that dream of being a successful entrepreneur or more successful. Or maybe their dream is they're overworked, overconsumed, overwhelmed, and not spending enough time with their family. So many times we feel like we got to do it all, right? So whatever that dream, that vision is, parting words of wisdom that they can make a change. They can do something different. Doesn't have to be 10 years. Following what you teach them could be on the spot. So parting words of wisdom. I want you to look and talk to that entrepreneur who's looking at you, who's sitting there, and you're going to fill their hope tank with hope.
There is a driving passion, a driving part in you that says there's got to be a better way to do whatever it is that's been put in your heart that wants to drive towards an end that will make a difference for others around you, for yourself, for your family, for everyone. And I think the ultimate thing is go for it. Don't hesitate, don't wait, don't waver, don't hold back. Go for it. Whatever you do, go for it and do it today.
Very well put. If not now, when? This is James Malinchak, featured on ABC's hit TV show Secret Millionaire, with the amazing speaker, author, entrepreneur, and all-around good fella, Barry Spencer. Brother, thanks
so much
for being a guest on the Success Show.
Thank you very
I appreciate
much.
it.
Appreciate it. Thank
we'll
you very much.
We'll see you next time.